great music, but have you seen the world's hardest game on the internet? Pretty impossible for slow people like me to get across, and then you die trying to get to the green area. What I'm going to do is attempt to make my own version of the game in Scratch. So I'm going to get rid of the cat, and I'm going to create that little keep that in the background so I can see what's going on. I'm going to create the little red square. Hold shift down to ensure that your square is in fact square. Okay, we're done. You can make that a bit smaller by clicking the shrink sprite. Now I need to create the blue balls to bounce around, so I'm going to create a new sprite. Now to make your red square move, a simple way would be similar to the Pac-Man tutorial I've done before, is to go Control. When a particular key is pressed, let's start with the up arrow, go to motion, point in that direction first, so point up, and then move. Let's try 10 steps, that should do, and then program all the other directions in the same way to make it go. Yep, goes up. Let's try the other directions. Okay, so now my square moves around, but the blue baddie doesn't bounce at all. Now before I make him bounce, what I'll probably do is make the game environment. So I'm going to create a new sprite. I'm going to zoom out for this and use the straight line to make a simple maze. Hold the shift key down to make a straight line. Okay, that's a fairly rough approximation of the World's Hardest Game board. Maybe grow that a little bit and move it into place. You have to be careful to click on the very edge. I'm just going to shrink these sprites, they're much too big. Okay, now this blue sprite here, I want it to glide up and down from this spot. Okay, this spot I can see what it is. It's 77 something. So look here, when I 77 in fact. What I did was I double clicked on that, and that gave the coordinates to the instructions here. So this will save me time. Now I'm going to have some motion. So control when flag clicked. Go to, okay, we'll start by going to a particular spot, going to that spot. Now we're not going to change the Y coordinate, we're only going to change the X coordinate across. We're only going to change the across value. So forever now, just make this happen forever throughout the game. Forever, and I'm going to make him glide. We'll try 1 second. 2. So we're going to change the X coordinate to this one here, which is about -60. I can see on the board, -60. And glide back to where he started. And so from 60 and back to that point, 77, 74. Again, just changing the x-axis. So let's see what happens when flag clicked. That's about right. Okay, I'm trying to get this one perfect because I'm going to duplicate it in a minute. So let's make that small. Let's try and work out if it's going to look like this game. Okay, that will do, I think. So now I'm going to duplicate this sprite by going Control click, duplicate, 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 Control click, duplicate, or you can use a clone stamp there. I'm now going to move these into place. I'm going to have this one start over here, this one starts over here, and this one starts over here. No, it's under that one. Okay, it's close enough. Now, this character, the moment he can go through the maze, that's not very good. So when I'm playing my game, he goes through the maze, and nor does he get eaten by these guys. He doesn't die. So a couple of things I'm going to have to change. One, for a start, when flag clicked, he should go to a position to start. So let's start him at this position, which is minus 157.39. Minus 157.39, and that's where he starts. Second thing, I've got to make him bounce off the maze. So if touching, so let's do another one, or I could keep this one. Forever if touching, so sensing the maze. If touching the maze, which is sprite 3, I haven't given it a decent name. Motion, turn, let's say 180 degrees, which is the exact opposite direction, and move away a little bit. Okay, just test that. Yeah, it seems to work. In other words, he's turning away and bouncing off. That's one way of doing it. Now let's stop everything again. We've got to make him disappear when he touches them. So, when flag clicked, forever if touching the blue. I'll tell you what we might do for this actually. If this, then it's for all the sprites that are that colour. So if touching colour, I'm going to click on the colour and select that blue colour. So if touching colour blue, I could make him just hide, but I might try a ghosting effect like in the actual game. Because in this actual game over here, when he dies, if we just see that, he ghosts out, he fades away. So let's try that. I'm going to change effect. Change ghost effect by 6. I'll try that. Now, this might only work if he's actually touching the baddie, look. Look, I can still see him there. That's not going completely ghosted. So I'm going to have to put a forever in to make it continue to ghost in there. Now that should work. Even if I'm not touching it, that should work. Okay, now we have to have a win screen when he touches the green. So I'm just going to start by putting another sprite actually. I'll make another sprite as the green area. Let's make a solid green. And when I touch that, I'm going to have a win screen. So let's program my sprite 1. When flag clicked, I'm just going to start it as a different command. When flagged clicked, forever if touching colour. So if touching colour, let's choose that. If touching again, I'm going to choose that colour off my game. If touching that colour, I'm going to broadcast a message to a screen I haven't made yet. So broadcast message. It's in control, I think. Broadcast, and I make a new message. So that's going to be win. You can just type that. Broadcast win. Now my new sprite I'm going to make is going to have a black fill and a white font. Win. Okay. Right, now this screen, now my win screen, you can make it more interesting. When the flag's clicked on the win screen, I'm going to make the win screen hide. When I receive win, then show. Okay, so when flag's clicked, hide. When I receive that message that broadcasts, then show. So let's see what we get now. Let's just see if I can. Luckily, I've made this badly that I can hopefully win. Oh no, it was too slow. Let's have another go at this game. It is, after all, impossible. Maybe go this way. Yes, and I win.